In this video, I'm going to talk about 3 times when you should go to the net. The first is if the ball is hit really short and you get pulled up. The second is if you put your opponent under pressure, you make them uncomfortable. And the third is if you simply want to mix it up and see if you can throw off your opponent's rhythm. So if I'm rallying with my opponent and they hit a ball that is really short that brings me up, I should often stay at the net afterwards because I don't usually have time to retreat back behind the baseline. If I try to get back after hitting this, I'm usually going to end up in a defensive position where I have a very difficult next shot. Versus if I can stay at the net, I probably have the advantage over my opponent after he or she hits short. The second example is if you put your opponent under a lot of pressure. So if I'm rallying with my opponent and I suddenly change direction and make her scramble to get it, that can be a really good time for me to come to the net. Especially if I see her switch to a slice, that's an even better time to come to the net. So again, if I put her under a lot of pressure, she's having to run really fast, great time for me to come to the net. And the third example is if I just want to mix it up. So maybe I don't go to the net very often, my opponent's used to how I play. Sometimes I might just randomly go to the net to see how my opponent reacts. So maybe I like playing from the baseline, but instead I'm going to take a gamble here by hitting high, coming to the net, and seeing what happens. Just the fact that I'm at the net might put more pressure on my opponent and make them miss a shot. So try out these 3 different times when you should come to the net. Number 1, if you get drawn forward. Number 2, if you put your opponent under a lot of pressure. Or number 3, if you simply want to mix it up.